Hello to all of you beautiful people. It's Finjiff here once again. Welcome back. And here is a new series that I'm bringing you guys. It is going to be reaction videos, review video, all of that for Raw and SmackDown each week. Just like I said, reviewing and just recapping all the matches and just my opinions on how things are going, how the way they should go. So, let's start it off with last night's Raw, which was actually, in my personal opinion, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I've been enjoying recently. It's been better since they've gotten closer to this brand extension. I'm super excited to see what's going to go on with that. All right, let's start it off with the Battle Royal to be #1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship. Now, that match I was okay with. It was pretty good. There were some people in there that really should not have been in that match. But once I saw Darren Young in, I expected him to win. And as fate would have it, and as luck would have it, I suppose, he did win. So I think that'll be a good match. I'm just glad that hopefully this means that they stop those Make Darren Young Great Again promos, because they were getting pretty awful. But nevertheless, that's who will be facing The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship at Battleground. Alright, so before the next match started, we had a little promo cut to Zack Ryder going up to Rusev and officially challenging him to a match at Battleground for the U.S. Championship, and where he was almost immediately attacked from behind by Sheamus. Now, Sheamus seemed still pretty upset about last week's Raw when he was eliminated by Zack Ryder at the end of the main event to win for Team USA. But that match took place right after. It was Zack Ryder and Sheamus. Zack Ryder unfortunately lost. The match was alright. It's you can only do so much. Sheamus, he's just, I don't know. Yeah, unfortunately, he did lose, and then right after, Rusev came out, just pounded him down, put him in the Accolade as he was doing that screaming, "I accept your challenge." So that's going to be a match at Battleground. We're going to get to see Zack Ryder and Rusev for the U.S. Championship. Alright, so the next match, unfortunately, was Breezango versus the Lucha Dragons. Now, I'm not a fan of Tyler Breeze that much. I don't like his character, but that being said, he's fantastic in the ring, and I think he deserves so much better than this little tag team with Fandango. But, it's the direction they're going with it, I guess. I feel bad. The guy deserves a good singles push, but at the end of the day, we're not the WWE. So, face the Lucha Dragons. It was a pretty good match. The Lucha Dragons, you're going to get the same thing every time. You're going to get that great, just crazy, high-flying wrestling style that really just brings excitement and just energy to the crowd, and it's great to watch. But at the end of it all, Breezango won. I think they're really trying to make a push for them, considering the brand extension's coming up. So, who knows, maybe they could be a top or a high draft pick come next Tuesday. So next up was the first ever edition of the Rollins Report, in which he came out and said he had exclusive footage of Roman Reigns and how it is going to show that he doesn't care about the fans or any of that. Basically, it was just chopped up from different interviews that Roman Reigns has done, and Seth Rollins has recorded in between asking questions. It was pretty funny. I feel bad that they're making Rollins do that. After all that, he's just running his mouth, talking about how he's going to leave Battleground the champion. Dean Ambrose comes out, and they cut, between both of them, one of the best promos I've seen all year and in a long time. Now, Ambrose faded away, or seemed to fade away, from that little clown-style character that he was portraying, and went back to the unhinged psychopath. And it was truly incredible. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. Alright, so next match was Kevin Owens versus Cesaro. Now, it was kind of dumb how they did it. Sami Zayn was at commentary, And Kevin Owens just refused to go out until Zayn was, removed from that area, called it unsafe work environment. Stephanie came over, said have him removed, so they removed him. The match was really good. What else can you say about a Kevin Owens match? They're all great. But at the same time, he pulled out this new finisher where he had him in a fireman's carry, spun him around into a neck breaker. I don't know if that's a new move or a new finisher he's going to put in, but it was pretty cool. And then after the match, Kevin Owens, celebrating, Sami Zayn comes flying through the crowd to attack him. Now, you can go either way with this rivalry that they have. Either you like it or you don't. It's good, but it's getting stale. Now, I don't mean that in a bad way. What I mean is, we've seen way too much of it in way too little of a time. So, the only thing I can think of is that this is it for a while. I think, personally, they're both going to be drafted to different shows, which will also bump up, that whole, in case they somehow end up back on the same show, make that rivalry still pretty intense. Alright, so next up, Titus O'Neil versus Heath Slater. Now, I'm a Titus O'Neil fan. I feel like the guy deserves a little more than he's getting. I think he should have had at least on the 4th of July, let him win the title, and then, the next show have him lose it. At least. Give the guy something, because that angle, that whole storyline, I thought was okay. They kind of played it up too much to let Titus, he fought 2 or 3 times for the belt, and they made him lose each time, including in front of his kids on Father's Day, but that's a whole nother thing. He pretty much overpowered Heath Slater, just wrecked him. Titus won, not much to say there. So now we get to the good part, guys. The Wyatts versus the New Day at the Compound, and it was incredible. What they were doing, throwing each other into cars, breaking glass, hitting each other with things. It was pretty intense. At the end of it, there was really no winner. It was the Wyatts standing up, and then all of a sudden all these lights come on with a ton of people behind them, and the New Day ends up leaving. But I don't think we've seen the last of that. I feel like that's going to boil over to SummerSlam. Possibly. Alright, next was Enzo and Cass versus Gallows and Anderson. Now, with that whole situation that happened last week, where they came out as backup for John Cena, that made this match what it was. That was a good match. I enjoyed the match. I like Enzo and Cass. I think anytime you put Enzo on a mic and you put Cass in the ring, you're just gonna get gold. Unfortunately, the match ended in a DQ. AJ Styles took Big Cass and flipped him over the barricade. Then they proceeded to beat up Enzo and Cass. Now, the whole talk was that John Cena wasn't there. He was in LA recording or rehearsing for the ESPYs. And what happens? John Cena comes out and just starts wailing on the club. I thought that was cool. I'm excited to see that match at Battleground. I think it's going to be great. All right, so next up was Sasha Banks versus Dana Brooke. Now, that match was good. Any match Sasha Banks is in is good. Sasha Banks eventually set her up for the bank statement. Won clean. I didn't expect that. I expected Charlotte to get involved in some sort of way. Now, with Sasha Banks, she was out with injury for a while. I think they're really trying to get her back into it, push her to eventually win the title very soon. As soon as maybe SummerSlam, who knows, but that's going to be interesting to follow. And finally, we have what was supposed to be the main event, I think. I don't really know. But Vince McMahon comes out and announces the COOs of Raw and SmackDown. Now, if you haven't watched it, I'm going to spoil it for you. If you want to go back and watch it, feel free to stop the video right here, go back and watch it before I talk about it. So it was announced that Stephanie will be running Raw, and Shane will be running SmackDown. Now, Vince gave them a week to name a GM, or he will name one for them. I'm excited to see who they're going to pick. Personally, I feel like I already know who's going to be running Raw. I mean, it's definitely going to be Triple H. If it isn't, I'd be surprised. I'm also really excited to see who Shane picks. There are so many different people where it could be, such as Mick Foley, maybe even Daniel Bryan. We don't know. But it's going to be really exciting to follow. And you never know at this point. With Shane McMahon coming back, wants to make change in the WWE, I'm really pumped for that. As always, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, leave a like. Stick around. Hopefully soon the podcast will be returning, guys. There's some technical difficulties and things that are stopping that. But yeah, please stay tuned for that. I'm really excited. Possibility of another podcast series coming out. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, keep up with the videos. That'll be in the description. Also, I just started streaming on Twitch. I'll also leave that in the description. And as always, guys, I'll see you next time.